steadily fatter and fatter again, and this time I am going to die. I'm losing my hair, it's getting really thin. I know it looks great for their cheers, but no, honestly, in a lift, right, with that light directly overhead and the mirror, it looks like an X-ray, right? I'm gonna have to buzz that off soon. I'd never wear a wig. Oh my God. Guys, if you wear a wig or a toupee and you think you've got away with it, you haven't. Everyone knows. Everyone knows immediately. My brain knows a wig has come into the room before I do, right? I could be at a party or something and it'll go, there's a wig in here. I go, is there? Yes, there is. Yeah. Spidey senses for the wig. It's only the little bit of the way they smile at you like there's nothing wrong. Telltale signs, isn't there? I was put off wigs for life, though, by my Uncle Reginald. A great bloke. He's dead now. Died a few years ago, right? I was only little, right? But he went bald in his 20s, tragically bald. I mean, he started going bald and his hair fell out. It might have been something. It might have been alopecia or something. I don't know. But he was bald for 10 years, into his 30s, right? Turns up one day at our house, Elvis. What is... like... And I remember I was about 8, and I said to Auntie Edna, what happened to Uncle Reginald's hair? And she went, it was a miracle. They were lying. They were just hushing. It was everyone knew he was bald, right? But he'd embroiled his family in on the lie, so they had to lie as well. They're going, yeah, it just grew back. Yeah, it's amazing, right? And there's so many things he wouldn't do because he was terrified of the wig coming off, right? We weren't allowed balloons at parties, right? Auntie Edna said, yeah, Reg is allergic to balloons. He wasn't allergic to balloons. He was terrified one of us kids would rub one on our sweater, right? And his wig would fly across the room. We've got photos of him in the family album, right? And if he's at a wedding or a christening and he's holding a baby, he's always holding it at arm's length, like that. So he can't grab his wig. It must have been on his mind all the time, right? It was the only thing he feared, that wig coming off in public, and this ridiculous lie being exposed. He was in the army, he was hard as nails, wasn't scared of anyone or anything, spiders, snakes, roads, wasn't scared of cancer. How's the chemo going, Uncle? Not a problem. We got a photo of him, and the last year, I think, he was 75, yeah, must have been his last year he was alive, right? And it was a hot day, and he was in the garden in his little trunks, right? And he was a wizened little man by then, and white chest hair, jet black wig still. Died in it, buried in it. He's wearing it now. A little skeleton with jet black hair, right? Like Posh Spice for eternity, right? But I knew all that was going to happen. I knew I was going to get old and fat and ill and blind and deaf and shit myself and be pushed around in a fucking bucket, right? But you're ready for that because you're warned. You know everything about getting old, right? Well, one thing they don't talk about, and so you're not prepared, and it was a shock to me, right? I only found out about it recently, and I'm going to share it with you now. The distending testicles. I didn't see, you don't know about it, right? But it happens in your 50s, right? I wasn't checking them or anything, but I didn't see them for 20 years, right? But all I know is, as a young man, they were pert, and now they're like 2 plums in a sock, right? I don't know when it happened, but it was recently, right? They just... And this is how I found out, right? So as I've been getting older, and they've been secretly stretching away, right? As I've been getting older, I've been getting richer, so my baths have been getting more and more luxurious, right? And last year, I moved into a new house in Hampstead, right? I had a big bath, but in a big sunken bath. Oh, south-facing windows. I was in there, like, the first night. Like, oh, lovely bath. Sun streaming in, classical music on. I thought, this is the life. I looked down, and they're floating, right? Now, I'd never dreamt that testicles would float. They seem like they'd be heavy, don't they? You could tie things down with them. They'd sit, do you know what I mean? And most people never see there. Like in the sea, you've got trunks on. In a shower, they dangle. And baths aren't usually that deep. And that was my first thought. Oh, my God, I never thought testicles would float, right? And then my second thought kicked in, which was, hold on, this bath's 2 feet deep, right? And I'm sitting on the bottom, and they're at the top. What is going on? Right? And I looked, and my testicles are now longer than my penis, right? Easily, by some way, right? In fact, they'd created like a little fleshy sort of life raft, right? My penis was dry, just nestled, just floating on top, like that, just bouncing around. I should have given it a little whistle. No, but I'm just looking at this thing, this is bizarre, fucking hell, right? And I thought maybe it's a fluke. So to test it, I held them under the water for a minute, and I let them go, and they bobbed up. They're really buoyant, right? So you try it when you get home, if you're in your 50s, right? And a man, obviously. Or Caitlyn Jenner. But the world is getting worse, and I blame the beginning of its demise on social media. Because Twitter and Facebook, that's where this ridiculous notion bred, right, and became stable, that it was more important to be popular than right, right? Everything was like me, agree with me. It falls into two tribes. Oh, I don't agree with them, so I'd block them, right? And now, in this post-truth era, people don't care about the argument. They don't look at the argument. They say, who's saying the argument? No, they're not on our side, right? It's ludicrous, okay? And it also bred this ridiculous notion. We've always had, my opinion is worth as much as your opinion. But now we've got, my opinion is worth as much as your fact, which is nonsense. I get tweets from people saying, well, I believe the Earth is 6,000 years old. Well, I believe you're a fucking idiot then, right? You can't have an opinion on the age of the Earth, right? You can have your own opinions, but you can't have your own facts, right? But it was all about being popular, right? And even politicians picked up those symptoms. Politicians tweet now, they want to be popular. We had a referendum about Brexit because they were passing the buck. They didn't want to make a mistake. So, and the other thing is this ridiculous thing of, oh, let's ask the average person what they think. Let's stop asking the average person what they... Do you know how fucking stupid the average person is? We still sell bottles of bleach with big labels on that say, do not drink, right? Let's take those labels off, right? For 2 years, and then have a referendum. But it's not just politicians, even real news. The news on TV says things like, well, tweet us your news. No, don't let them tweet you the news. I saw Tyrannosaurus Rex, you liar, right? There was a big news story last year, right? It was about a terrible train crash. Now, the train crash had happened about a year before, and there was a big inquiry. And the results of the inquiry were published this day, and so there was an expert on the news, and he was saying, well, we've looked at everything, and we've decided that the speed of the trains on this particular line were a contributing factor to the accident, so we're going to slow them down a little bit, and statistically speaking, this should never happen again, right? That should have been the end of it. But the guy went, wow, we went out and asked the general public what they thought. So then there was 3 banal vox pops. The first one said, well, I already pay £960 a year, so I'm not happy, right? And the next one said, well, it takes me 45 minutes each way, so it's not good enough, right? And the last one said, well, I always say, it's better to arrive at work late than dead. Why is that on the news? And when is that applicable in any situation? You know what I mean? Go, all right, Ted, you're in early. Ted? Oh, Ted. We've been through this. Remember I said I'd rather you arrived late than dead? But the big enemy is stupidity, right? I want to share with you the most stupid tweet I ever got, I think. All right. Now, admittedly, when I first got on Twitter, I pushed my agenda a little bit. I was an outspoken atheist, not because I thought I'd change anyone's opinions, but because I thought it was important to tell the other side, you know. There are still 13 countries where people are put to death just for being an atheist, and there's people bullied, and I just wanted to say, it's fine to be an atheist, it's fine to believe in God, and it's fine not to. That's all I was saying, really. And Then I realised I didn't even have to tweet about religion or atheism. I could just tweet a fact, and that annoyed just the right people, right? I tweet things like, happy birthday, Earth, 4.6 billion years old today. And someone would always go, oh, we know what you're fucking doing, we know what you're doing, right? So, this is a tweet I got from someone after one of those, I assume, right? And it was all in capitals, which excited me. That's the sign of Twitter madness, mixed with anger. It's great, right? And I looked at his profile, and sure enough, he's a gentleman from Texas. He's a fundamentalist, creationist Christian, right? Which is fine. He loves God. He loves God and fetuses, mainly. He loves the fetus from conception to when it turns out gay. And then he's... Right, so remember, it's all in capitals. He's shouting at me, right? Best tweet ever, right? Your science, my science, right? Science, by the way, is spelled S-C-I-E-N-T-S. Already good, isn't it? I mean, he's obviously heard the word. He took a guess. Never seen it written down, because it's not in the Bible. So he's... Your science won't help you. Well, it will. It's helping him beam this little message up to a satellite and down to me. Your science won't help you when Satan... Of course he believes in Satan. Why wouldn't he? He believes that God made the universe in 6 days. You're not going to say to him, do you believe in Satan? And he's going to say, bit far-fetched. Why doesn't God kill Satan? That's what I'd ask him. If I was wrong and I met God and I go, oh, you do exist. He'd go, yeah. I go, well, in which case, I've got a few fucking questions, mate. In fact, the first one would be, why did you make chocolate kill dogs? What's... mental. Also, if you hate homosexuality so much, why did you put the male G-spot up the arse? What is wrong with you? Then I'd say, why don't you kill Satan? And he'd go, what? I go, why don't you kill Satan? If he does all the bad stuff and you do all the good stuff, yeah, and you want good stuff, yes, yeah. I mean, you do want, yes, yeah. And you could kill him, couldn't you, if you wanted? Yes, because you can do anything easy, yeah. Why don't you kill him then? Because... Shut up. Your science won't help you when Satan is raping your British ass. And he's got a point. Because if I die and I find myself in hell being raped by Satan, science has pretty much let me down. But it's this last line that he just throws away. This line that he signs off with makes this the best tweet I've ever received, right? Your science won't help you when Satan is raping your British ass. I'll be laughing. So... he's there too. So he's a fundamentalist Christian who's lived his life by the Old and New Testament. He dies, he wakes up in hell, right? Which must be off the charts on the scale of emotional trauma for a Christian. You want to go, oh my God, I'm in hell. Oh my God, why have you forsaken me? I'm in hell, it's the worst place. No, it's for eternity. I'm going to be tortured for eternity. He sees me getting raped, goes, what, he's suddenly over it, is he? His day suddenly got a little bit brighter, right? And like he's not next, right? So he says, I'm getting raped, right, by the devil, right? And he's just there, you fucking atheist scum, right? And I'm like, ah, yeah, whatever, right? Because I mean, I assume it happens all, it's like an eternity, so I'm, yeah, whatever, go on your fear. I might say, watch your hooves on my testicles, you know?